William Burr. As you guys know, William Burr, Old Billy, is one of my favorite comedians. And what's interesting about it is that Bill Burr, in spite of his success in the field of comedy and in Hollywood, and in spite of all the bounties of said success in this field, he's actually become increasingly more radical in his commentary as years have gone by. Instead of becoming more out of touch, he has, I would say, become more in touch with the needs and the anger and the resentment of the average working class individual. Bill Burr says a metric ton of dare I say, radical, maybe even violent things about billionaires and people who own corporations, the mega wealthy, on a daily basis. Conservatives are now up Bill Burr's ass. Why are they up Bill Burr's ass? Because he doesn't say cancel culture wrong, cancel culture all the time. Because he, unlike the overwhelming majority of that era of comics, the older comics that all exclusively talk about like gay and trans libtard campus activists, Bill doesn't really entertain it that much, right? He doesn't entertain that shit at all, and instead attacks the wealthy. And because conservatives are unimaginably peasant-brained, they hate him now. They hate him so much. They keep saying he has a DEI wife because his wife is black. You know what DEI is. And the only thing he's done is basically say, billionaires suck. Billionaires suck. They're the reason why everything is wrong and everything is broken in society. It's true. It's an objective truth that Bill is recognizing and in a humorous way explaining. Okay? And for that microaggression, right-wingers are relentlessly attacking him. It's crazy. It is crazy. The reason why they hate him is because he's talking shit about billionaires. That's it. So if you're not a billionaire and you're just like a regular old Loby right-wing account trying to make ends meet on Twitter.com, now known as X.com, why in the ever-loving would you have any resentment or any anger for Bilbo Baggins here? Are you a billionaire? No. Why are you saying, get behind me, billionaire, I will defend you? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense until you realize that these guys have peasant brain. Here, I mean, and it's not like he hasn't been anti-billionaire. He's been making fun of incredibly wealthy, incredibly famous people for being dumbasses for quite a while. This is a video from 2012 originally. 2012.
Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That's insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. What a...
Dog, this is from 2012, okay? 2012. Understand, 13 years ago he was saying this. Nothing has changed.
Are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear, right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself, sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla. Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me! Remember that?
He means Nikola Tesla, not Elon.
Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy! How the f*** was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use you throw it out. What, do you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones. We did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi, you think you're being healthy, you're eating your old rollerblades. All right, I'm on a...
Okay. I think this perfectly demonstrates to many who've been watching me but don't understand my admiration and endless loyalty and love for Bill Burr, considering the time when he was, when he was crafting this. And you can tell he's not as good as he is now, too. He's not as comfortable on stage back then, even though he was already like a seasoned comic at 2012. Now, I think one of the best ways to see if someone is a timeless comic is to look back at their old material and see if it stands the test of time. And the only way that your bits will stand the test of time are if they are inherently leftist. This guy literally on accident, because we weren't spoke about microplastics back then, but this guy on accident invented the thing that we now know as the meta, which is like eating the microplastics. He wasn't that well read to know that the microplastics issue was a major problem. He was just looking at the situation from a leftist framework. If you want to come across as predictive, if you want to literally have all of your friends turn around and be like, how do you figure this stuff out? It doesn't make sense. Why do you come across like you got the gift of prophecy here? What's happening? Be a leftist. A little bit of common sense, a little bit of critical thinking, and also materialist thought will go such a long way. Okay, it'll help you with pattern recognition. But of course, the inverse of that is the one time if you are if you come across an issue, especially as it pertains to the propaganda that you hear from the State Department, and how you're not immediately on board with that, let's say, and you get one detail wrong, even though your analysis is correct, people will never let you live it down. But yeah, there's a reason why people always go back to like the old Simpsons and go, dude, why is the old Simpsons predicting this? Why is the old Simpsons predicting that? Why is this old Simpsons is crazy? It's because back then they had a leftist position. It's not as informed now, and they've definitely shifted their attitude. But if you want to understand good comedy, timeless comedy, look to people's old work, see if it stands the test of time.
Bill Burr is having a rant. This is towards who? This is towards Elon Musk? Is this the one that you...
Musk, I don't know if he's on a podcast, but I don't know what the hell.
Is this the one?
Oh, they're so mad at Bill. Oh, they're so mad at Bilbo. Neurotic Toast says, do we know if Bill Burr has changed his trans takes? He was pretty anti-trans women in sports. He has even a bit about Special from 2015. I know he can't be perfect, but it'd be nice for him to grow in that area. I don't know. And I don't remember his takes on trans women in sports or anything like that. But you know, there's always going to be some it's not appropriate. I'm not saying that it's like allowed or whatever, but there's going to be imperfect allies in general. But a guy that has like empathy baked into their commentary, a guy who has like a very well-established worldview that revolves around helping others, probably could be easily convinced not to be transphobic. Also, I'm looking at your comments, and you talked about that whole issue with the Asman calling you schizo when the subject of destiny comes up. He's acting like you haven't dealt with 7-year harassment campaigns, which you were silent on until recently. Asman admitting to using the subreddit and knowing it brigades, by the way. Yeah, Asmongold knows that the Destiny community actively hunts me. He knows it so well because he has DM'd me about it in the past. He's just acting brand new on camera now. He's acting like he didn't know about it. He has personally talked to me about this before. He has also, I think, admitted in the past about the insane ways in which the Destiny community tries to brigade everything that I appear on. So it's really weird that he's changed his stance on the matter now. I'm fairly certain he's like even publicly talked about it in the past. After all, it's Asmongold who once said, if Hasan is so wrong in the ways that you guys say he is, then why do you constantly have to lie? Why do you constantly have to lie about his positions if they're so bad? He recently shared he is on the Reddit himself. Yeah, I think he doesn't want... Here, I'll tell you what I think is going on. Okay, I haven't talked to him about this personally, so I don't know. But I think he knows how annoying the Diddy Gers are, how rabid they are. They're not like the biggest community, but they are basically cyber terrorists, right? They can actively brigade communities. They can like do a lot of bad PR and slander propaganda. And they openly do it. They do it in a fairly sophisticated way. I mean, there's a entire Bloomberg article dedicated to the defamation, slander, and the deplatforming campaign that they engaged in. Asmongold knows all of that because most streamers know all of that, right? Like most streamers are familiar with other streamers that are making a living off of creating drama and like actively harassing other content creators. Streamers talk to one another. And that's part of the reason why no one ever talks about Destiny is because they're truly afraid, understandably so, that they don't want to get the smoke from Destiny's insane fan base who actively harasses journalists and actively harasses anyone and everyone, even when they can't get to me, people in my group of friends. And Asman knows this, and I think he just doesn't want the smoke from him. Despite the fact that if Destiny was even a little bit honest about his liberalism, he would spend probably 700 times more time focusing on the largest content creator who is a right-winger, Asmongold, rather than someone like myself. But the reason why Destiny doesn't do that is because he likes that Asmongold is attacking me all the time. So he every now and then will push back on some of his takes, but overall will stand back and stand by. It's an interesting allegiance built around coming after someone like myself, rather than actively undermining a very large right-wing community. That's it. Like, think about how many videos someone like Sex Pestany has done on a person like myself, who is supposedly very close to me in our worldview, right? He's a liberal, I'm a leftist. We should agree on more than we disagree on, right? Now, compare that to the largest right-wing content creator and how much he talks about the largest content creator in the same vein, in the same, with the same exact angles of attack. And you realize that it's almost quiet, you know? If 20% of your output is directly on someone who you have ideological closeness to, and it reaches nowhere near that standard when you're talking about a dude who is much larger than me, then maybe you don't have any sort of real political dog in this fight, and you just simply are carrying out a personal vendetta against the person that you are upset with, and you're using politics as a weapon to wield in the process to actively recruit larger people, actively recruit a larger audience, to make it seem like this is a political battle that you're fighting, to normalize, common sense liberalism. Me too. I hate this bullshit drain. It's not up to Hasan anymore. He's getting it from more than 7 people at this point. Yeah, it's there are a lot of people online who I think spend a good deal of time claiming that they're liberal or centrist and apolitical, that focus all of their efforts on being like, this is a bad guy, watch this guy. They never have that same critical lens for others, interestingly enough. And it's just weird. I don't know. Even when they have very clear ideological differences in opinion with others, they sometimes align. Sooner or later, though, those people often show their cards, show their worldview. Anyway, what has Bill Burr built? Bill Burr torched over Elon Musk Nazi comparison. Let's take a look.
One, Rob?
Yes, it's from his podcast, Monday Morning Podcast.
Okay, go. How long is this clip, Rob?
This is about 1 minute and 37 seconds. And just so you know, this just broke news yesterday and today, but this clip actually came out on the 17th of February. So this has been out there, just nobody reported on it, which goes to show nobody's listening to Bill Burr.
Play the clip.
I'll tell you what's funny. I made fun of the Twitter guy for Sieg Heiling not once but twice, and I never look at my emails. I was scrolling through my emails, and it said my Twitter account had been flagged for I don't even tweet anymore. It had been flagged for whatever. What a baby. Just like Hitler. A baby. Yeah. How about the fact that the Twitter guy he's not even from here. He's from South Africa. He comes to this country and wants to turn it into a dictatorship. He doesn't feel that we deserve democracy. Can you just imagine doing that? Going to another country
Vinny?
And just...
He's not done. He's not done.
What happened, Rob?
Because I've decided...
What happened?
Yeah, he doesn't mind living under a dictatorship as long as he's on the good side of it. Laminated face cunt. Because that's another thing. All of these people that are into Hitler, you know what I mean? And like look at this guy like he was some sort of hero. The guy's one of the biggest cowards ever. All the pain and all the suffering that guy's caused, and the war crimes the Allies had to commit, firebombing cities to get that money. When it came time for him to pay the price for all the suffering he caused millions and millions and millions of people.
Vinny.
Did he face the music? No, he gave himself a nice, quick, painless death.
Vinny, I'm going to ask you the question. I'll tee it up for you.
Well, what?
We had a poll. Is Bill Burr a top 10 comedian? You said yes. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way. Bro, I don't know. I wasn't around when George Carlin was obviously popping off in the 90s, but I wonder if there was a similar like right-wing movement against him. I know that he would sometimes appear on television shows where right-wing commentators would attack him, but of course now those same right-wingers will look back at George Carlin and be like, he's on our side. He's a right-winger. He's hated woke. He's he's totally on board with everything that we're saying. But I'm sure that there was a similar, like the same group of people, like whoever these guys would be in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were actively yelling at him. But now they go back and claim George Carlin for themselves. My dumbass racist families used to watch his shows, not realizing he was making fun of them. Yeah, that also is the same principle behind Stephen Colbert. Not Colbert now, but Colbert during the Colbert Report was, doing incredible satire to such a degree where people didn't understand it. Like conservatives would watch him and laugh, not realizing that everyone who got it were laughing at the conservatives. Colbert now is super libbed up and awful, but Colbert Report back then was fantastic.
Publicly.
Stop.
You realize
Stop.
he's not funny.
Stop for a second. Let him react. Don't change the topic because you're going comedy. Let him react to what he said about Musk. This is not a comedy topic. Go ahead.
This is not a comedy topic. Damn. Are the girlies fighting? Is there some internal drama at Patrick But David? Are you value-tained? Did PBD invite you? No, he didn't, which kind of makes me sad because maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like there was a time and place where PBD would have had me on. But Patrick actually posted, if you guys remember, Patrick posted about who do you want to have on the podcast next. And I responded, I think it's time. And I actually ratioed him. So there's no way that he didn't see it. Yeah, he said, who would you like to see on the podcast next? And I said, it's time, Patrick. 16,000 likes, no response. Ian Carroll, bring on Representative Thomas Massey to talk about America first. He's invited. So he responded to Ian Carroll saying, bring on Thomas Massey to talk about America first. But he didn't respond to me saying, it's time, Patrick. You called Vinny red and Patrick was mad? Yeah. I don't know. It makes me sad. I'm going to follow him. It makes me sad that he doesn't, he's afraid of having opinions. He's afraid of representing opinions that he might agree to, you know? or maybe he's afraid that Vinny will have an aneurysm if I appear in their studio. Sorry, man, you just aren't value-tainment material. Didn't he literally say he would have Jeffrey Epstein on? Yeah, right here. This person says Jeffrey Epstein. He has an open invitation. This guy's like, I would love to have Jeffrey Epstein on. Hasan, bridge too far. You know? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Hasan, no thank you. You might make Vinny turn a shade of red nobody has ever seen before. I know.
The country is right now. And I know
this one got 1.5 million views, man. Remember this?
Hasan said, Trump is talking about the border and the illegals are the problem. They are the problem. They are. Kerry mentioned one story. There's been 4 this week. And people like that say, oh, it's not really a problem. You say that because it's not happening to you. It is a problem. And by the end of this 4 years, the number's probably going to be 18 million.
The whole state of California. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a whole
Oh, yeah, it's a total hellhole, dude.
California
Florida
is a
sinking. Look at your tan.
Oh, yeah, it's sinking. By the way, first of all, I don't respect any Nepo baby that thinks Twitch streaming is a job. And I want the audience to know, this guy, Hasan, has said in the past that America deserved 9/11. So don't even talk. Don't even open your mouth. You don't have no reason to talk.
Vinny,
just shut up.
I'm a big
just
fan
do me a
of
favor
you.
and shut up.
I'm a big
Respectfully.
fan of you. And,
okay, but hold on.
I'm a big fan of you, so I don't want you to die. I feel like your heart pressure is going up. You're turning red, Vinny.
Somebody like you shouldn't be on this panel. I'm sorry for my language, Pierce. He doesn't belong on your show.
I feel like maybe he's actively petitioning Patrick to not have me on. I bet he can't even reply to you because Vinny called you a bunch of different slurs while bitching about you initially after this happened. Yeah, he went back to Patrick and he was like, Patrick, I was on a show. I went on Piers Morgan's show and this fucking Nepo baby. And then beep, like a bunch of slurs, I assume. This Nepo baby. He said, I'm turning red. I'm turning red again. Patrick, stop saying I'm turning red. Oh God, I love this guy. I love him. I love Patrick Bet David. I love Valuetainment. I wish they would notice me. I wish. Well, you know, Vinny has noticed me, but I'm saying, yeah. Also, oh, this guy says Twitch streaming is a job. It's like, bro, you're a podcaster. You're the second in command of a podcast. You're not even like the primary podcaster. You're part of the paid peanut gallery. Sundara Vinny got bashful when he saw you. Yeah. I'm the first mate of Valuetainment. I'm the sidekick. It's great. I love him. I really, really want to go on Patrick Bet David now. I followed him. The ball's in your court, sir. Born in Iran, made in the U.S., half Armenian, half Assyrian. Anyway, in my headcanon, Patrick won't have me on because Vinny will die because of the aneurysm that he has if he sees me in the room alongside his goat Patrick. So for that reason, it's okay that I'm not, you know, I don't want to give Vinny a stroke by appearing in the same room as him. So that's why it's like, for Vinny's safety, I'm fine not coming on the stream, you know?
I personally don't know what happened to Bill Burr, okay? Maybe it's his wife.
Now, I'm glad that we started off this conversation by showing you what Bill Burr was saying in 2012. The reason why I like that is because now you know these are fake fans, okay? Because old Billy Bitch Tits was saying exactly these same things even back then, okay? And Bill Burr also has been married to the lovely Nia for decades at this point, okay? For decades. So when they also try to say like, oh, he married the DI wife or whatever the he's say, which is like insanely racist to say about another human, like, I cannot comprehend how you got, like, how do you, the audacity, just like the lack of shame when you just basically say like you have a DEI wife because your wife is black. Like, how do you not feel embarrassed when you just like what, substitute the N-word for 3 letters? Like all of a sudden it just like is appropriate. Like the audacity to just like say something so ruthlessly, so gross, so racist, so ruthless. But in any case, not saying that that's what Vinny is going to say here. I'm just, you know, saying that this is what I've seen. This is what I have seen from conservatives who want to figure out why Bill Burr has changed, and they just like falsely assume that it's because he has a black wife. But real heads know old Billy Bitch Tits has been not only a Patrice O'Neal close friend, and also has been married to the lovely Nia for quite some time. So,
wife, maybe she's in his ear, maybe it's something else, but the signs are...
Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. He did bring up the wife. Okay, got it.
There, funny story. So back in LA, the pandemic's over. Okay, one of my friends, Mark, is doing comedy shows outside in Hollywood behind like one of those nightclubs. Bill Burr walks in, tight ass. I'm talking about the mask was so tight, nobody else is wearing masks. He's the only one. Tight mask. This is how gone he is as a liberal. Goes.
Don't you lefties hate Patrice O'Neal? What? Incel for life? Dude, I need you to understand something, okay? I don't hate any comedian for what they're saying, for their comedy, unless it's hack shit, okay? That's what I hate. I can't stand hacks. That's it. I know that this breaks your previous understanding of what like leftists are supposed to be like or whatever. That's it. Most of the people, and are there actual lefties, social justice warriors, radlibs or whatever, who don't like any comedy whatsoever because they think it's reactionary across the board? Certainly. I'm just not one of them. This community is not one of those communities. I literally have hometown hosts on this broadcast all the goddamn time. Shut the fuck up, okay? Now, having said that, I can't stand hacks. What do I mean by this? bad comics who try to talk about race-related or touchy subject matter, if they're bad, will oftentimes flop spectacularly and will then rely on the shock value of the statements that they're making rather than being able to find and craft the humor in being able to broach subject matter that is otherwise delicate, okay? Subject matter that is hard to cover in a humorous way. That's it. There's no such thing. There is no issue that you can't talk about in a humorous way. I don't believe that there's any issue. It's just there are plenty of people who are not creative enough, smart enough, funny enough to be able to drive comedy out of issues that are delicate in nature. That's it. Yeah, comedy is at least a bit about getting away with shit. If you don't get away with it, you failed at comedy. Exactly. Exactly. The best comedian, the smartest comedian, and I think like Nick gets in his own way in a lot of instances, but Nick is a hilarious comic and he has a lot of edgy moments, right? But the best comedian, like someone like Nick Mullen, okay, can make the wokest laugh with that he's saying that if another person was repeating, someone like myself, for example, who's not as humorous, who's not as funny, who's not as clever, who's not as charismatic, everyone would yell at. That's the difference. That's the difference. The difference is Nick Mullen can get away with it despite being a, self-sabotager and whatnot, but that's like totally irrelevant to this point here. Like when we're talking about raw talent, Nick is hilarious. He's very funny. And you want to know why I know he's very funny? Because he can make you laugh while saying is truly unhinged. Things that most people would literally look at and be like, oh, this is shocking. I can't believe he's saying it. That's it. Nick might have the greatest comedic mind in comedy ever. It's almost criminal how still unknown he is. No, he's brilliant. He's very funny. It's obvious that he has raw, natural talent. Okay? Having said that, there's also a lot of work that goes into comedy. People don't understand the background. People don't understand how many times you have to bomb until you put together a working set that can kill in front of any crowd. And especially with like podcasting, comedians doing podcasts, when they're testing bits, they're going to come across as reactionary. They're going to come across as crazy. Shane Gillis's like compilation of anti-Asian sentiment is a perfect demonstration of that. Shane Gillis is a very good comedian. He's a very funny comedy writer, and he's also a very good comedian. I don't give a f*** if people say he's a hack in this chat, okay? He is. Especially in the current field of comics, Shane Gillis is absolutely in the new generation of comedians. Shane Gillis is at, he's in the top 20 easily. But if you know him only from his worst moments where he's like very obviously bombing on his own podcast as he's like attempting to do humor and actually engaging in like hacky ass bits, then yeah, you're going to think he's a reactionary person. He's a bad person. He's racist, blah, blah, blah. Okay. First time I've ever disagreed with you. Shane is rough. Different strokes for different folks, everybody. I'm just telling you what my opinion is. Okay. Because comedy, just like every other art form, has comedy, just like every other art form, is very subjective. Okay. And a lot of people don't understand that because they think because comedy is like spoken word and dissecting social issues that they think it actually is like philosophical or I don't know, it's political commentary technically. Like it's not, okay? It's not. It's just the ultimate purpose of comedy is to make you laugh. That's it. Wait, you're saying Shane Gillis is top 20 of all time? No, I'm saying Shane Gillis is top 20 in this generation of comics. In this generation. And I'm friends with, close friends with some of this generation of comedians. Like I trust me, I'm telling you, I think that he is easily in the top 20 of this generation's comedians, best comedians. in terms of like someone etching their name into the halls of greats, I would say Bill Burr from the previous generation of comics. Bill Burr has, I think, reached George Carlin era greatness, in my opinion, which is why it's kind of weird when people are getting upset at him on this like stupid ass right wing podcast.
Goes on stage, kind of, away from everybody, doesn't want to go on anybody. Then he goes on stage. The stage is circular.
Stay in your lane, dog. You don't know comedy. Yeah, I know. I don't. You're right.
Then he takes off his mask and he proceeds to tell jokes, Rob. And now everybody's laughing, projectile spitting towards him. So the irony is just it's hilarious. And the fact that he's saying he thinks Elon Musk, guys, and the fact that it came out, Rob?
Thoughts on pre-cancellation Louis C.K.? Yeah, Louis C.K. is also, regardless of his sex pest, Louis C.K. I think was also a very good comedian. Like remove his real world actions out of the equation, and just, if you were to separate the art from the artist, I guess, if you want to, and you look at his comedy as a standalone product, yes, he is also one of the best. Like, the proof is how much you laughed at his okay? And honestly, ironically enough, before his understandable quote-unquote cancellation, that didn't really cancel him. Obviously, he won a Grammy after that but ironically enough, as a major former Louis C.K. fan at the time, when I saw him at what is it, the arena, like the one near Compton, I remember seeing him live and thinking, damn, he kind of started sucking at that point. And I haven't really listened to his new stuff, so I have no idea. Maybe his the Forum, thank you, not the arena, the Forum. I would say that like he was actually falling off spectacularly with his wit. Maybe he's a lot funnier now. I don't know. I haven't really heard his
last month. He still thinks you're so stupid and gullible. You think this guy is going to do the Nazi salute twice? That just shows how stupid Bill Burr is, okay? That's how gone he is. I guarantee you he was one of the BLM posting the black squares and all that shit. He probably donated, even though they stole all the freaking money. But here's my question, Bill. What have you ever built? What have you built? We talked about this.
Wait, what is Vinny built? Is Vinny a builder? Damn, he's getting red again. I was about to comment on how like Vinny seems to be doing a lot better this time around. Like, he doesn't seem like he's seething. He doesn't seem like he's turning red. And boy, was I too fast. Boy, was I too fast on that. I pulled the trigger too quick. He's going red mode.
Yesterday, your podcast studio, Elon Musk.
He's like, what have you built? What have you built? Why would you ever get mad at Henry Ford? He wants to build company towns. That's a good idea. What have you built? Oh, these guys run around saying they're anti-fascist. What are you talking about? I read the pamphlets. Henry Ford is not only industrious, he's built a lot, he did the assembly line, but also on top of that, let me tell you what else he did. He bought a newspaper in Dearborn, and he started talking about the truth. He loves writing. Why are you on Henry Ford calling him a Nazi? Read his pamphlets. He wrote a lot. 1,800 pages on Jews. These wokes. They're coming after my industrious entrepreneur, Henry Ford.
Zip2, PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla.
Bro, he didn't like invent any of those things. What are you saying? It's so stupid. Yeah, it's awesome. Being a rich guy is awesome because you just get called an inventor of things you bought. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody thinks, bro, no one thinks, what's his face? Berkshire Hathaway, guy who drives a Subaru still and eats at McDonald's. He's a freak of a different kind, the billionaire. What was his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Oh my God. Warren Buffett. Nobody's like, oh, Warren Buffett, he invented Coca-Cola. No, he just like bought into it. Okay. He's just like, it's so stupid. Listen, I invented housing. Okay. Why? Because I bought real estate. That means I invented the concept of a house. I invented the concept of shelter. Warren Buffett invented houses. He's the original founder of SpaceX. It doesn't matter, dude. What are you talking about? You think he's the one who's designing the spaceships? What are you lost in the marketing? Really? It's all marketing. That's all it is. Do I have to go back to the Bill Burr bit from 2012 again about Steve Jobs? Is that what I have to do for you to understand? Like, it's just, you're not personal. These guys are not personally inventing shit, okay? They just sit there and go, invent this thing.
Solar City, OpenAI, Neuralink, helping people that can't move any of their freaking limbs talk and type on a computer. All right? The Boring Company, XAI, and the list can keep going, okay? And he bought Twitter so people like us can actually speak out, Bill. Not like the one that had before that was actually treating it like Nazis, kicking people off the platform and censoring people, okay? Meanwhile, he's sitting over there and you're talking shit about a guy that's revolutionizing the world, changing the freaking game.
Oh my God, bro, I'm sorry. If Vinny was my dad and I saw my dad suck off a dude this hard, I don't know what I would do. Like, this is not on some no homo shit. Like, I'm not even saying like, oh, I'm homophobic. Like, this is like, you have reduced yourself to a degree where you are no longer human. You have become machine, sucking machine. Like, you literally are just like, I am no longer a man. I am but a mere vessel that inhales Elon's dick. I am but a mere vessel that needs Elon's dick to breathe. It's like oxygen to me. I need it. If I don't have it every waking moment, I will die. I will perish. Wow. He's like, I am literally a Tenga for Elon Musk. Sir, please.
And let's not forget who Bill Burr is. He was at some sneaker thing, Rob. You can look it up. Millionaire.
I hate him. He's at a sneaker thing. He made a joke. He said, Luigi. I got so scared. I'm not going to hold you, bro. This is what you do to Braun. I'm not going to hold you. You do this with Braun? Yeah, okay. Elon Musk versus LeBron James. Did Elon Musk score 50,000 points, lifetime points in the NBA? No. Suck my dick. Yes. It is not glaze if it's worthy. It's not glaze if it's valid. Don't get me started on LeBron James, dude. It's crazy to me that there are still, and I'll say it, white supremacists in this chat who have any kind of criticism against the GOAT, Lamau. Okay? That is crazy, dude. That is crazy. Hey, you have a career that spans entire lifetimes of dominance, okay? You do that, and then we'll talk. LeBron James has never had a bad day. He's never had a bad year. He's never had a bad season, okay? He invented basketball. Everybody stop playing. Put some respect on it, okay? Pour some honey on it. Put some respect on it. It's not glaze when you talk about LeBron James. It's just the truth. Let's continue.
Multi-millionaire that used a capitalist country to become a millionaire, talking about the system, and then says free Luigi. Okay, free Luigi. A guy.
Dude, he's mad about the free Luigi thing. It's like, bro, don't worry. You're not a healthcare CEO, okay? Like, he obviously also jokingly mentioned that when he's talking about sneaker quality going down, but for the same price, if not more expensive. Because I remember the actual clip is from this, okay? I don't know where he actually says it, but...
Green and white, one of your favorites, yeah. 2023, your favorite shoe.
Oh, they brought it back?
Yeah, they brought it
back a couple of times, and they went with cheaper leather.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because some corporate cunt had to give himself a bonus check at the end of the year. What if we made it worse, but made it look the same?
Yeah.
Then could our pools be bigger?
Not
Free
okay.
Luigi!
Like, it's obviously a joke. This guy, on the other hand, is like, no, that's an active death threat to Nike corporate executives. Like, the is wrong with you, man? These people have basically become what they despise. They constantly chirp about like how comedy is dead because woke's ruined it. You can't say anything no more. Only to turn around and be like, wow, this comedian said free Luigi when talking about how corporate executives are oftentimes putting the interest of profit over making better product year over year. It's a joke. Who the is killing comedy then? Jesus Christ.
Free Luigi, a guy that murdered. I don't give a shit how you feel.
Oh, you can't make a joke like that. You can't. You can't make a joke like that. Why are you doing this, Bill? You're making me so upset. Yeah, we got dark woke on the one hand, and we got soy right on the other, dude. Holy Jesus Christ, shut the up. Holy moly, snowflake, dude. Ah, I need to report you to the authorities. You said free Luigi. Oh, no. Jesus, are you not value-tained? Exactly. According to his own bio, Vinny was later discovered at an open mic night by Damon Wayans' niece. Wayans subsequently cast him on a sketch comedy series, The Underground, on Showtime. Wait, this guy's a comedian? Vinny is a comic? Shut up. Someone sent me oh my God. Give it to me right now. Give me one of his old sets. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta go pee, and by the time I get back, I hope you guys have found one of his old sets.
About the guy praising a guy that murdered a guy in the middle of the street in cold blood, that's married, has children, just shows exactly what Hollywood does to these liberals like Bill Burr. Bill Burr, still funny as hell, but something has shifted and is changing, and that's what Hollywood does to these people. It's freaking sad, bro. And you've admitted it. Bill Burr says, I'm just a comedian, and this is the game that they play. I'm just a comedian. Don't take me serious. No, you open your mouth and you talk shit, so people are going to talk shit back to you. And he said this before. Bill knows this. He goes, I don't read. Maybe you should start reading, Bill. Start reading a book. Open up a book, because he sounds like a freaking idiot. Moron.
Tom.
I think the last part of what Vinny just said really resonates with me. If you're going to be a comedian, there's a difference between satire and obvious humor and a rant. And when you make a rant, which is like you're publishing your opinion on the inside of the LA Times, when you make a rant like that, then you're going to face the music of the consequences of your rant, because people are going to say, wait a minute. That's not your comedy. That's your position. You're not making fun of something. You're taking a position here, and you need to hear from us. And now we're going to go back and we're going to talk to you about it. And people say, no, stop. The thing he said about Rachel Maddow, he was just making a joke. Nobody's saying that. People are looking at this guy going, wait a minute, dude. That's a position. That's an op-ed. That's an opinion page on your own personal newspaper. And you need to own up for these things you've said and back them up. Are you going to back him up with the facts? Are you really going to defend that position? Is that where you want to go? Is that the guy that you're going to have club owners saying, well, let's see if we can get Bill in here tonight? Is that the guy? You know, I don't know. I don't know if the audience is going to eat that dog food.
Yeah, club owners would hate to have Bill Burr show up at their comedy club. Bill Burr, who is literally hailed by every working comic as one of the all-time greats at this point. Like, Bill Burr is so respected that Joe Rogan will still have him on, despite the fact that they do not see the world in the same lens, okay? Joe Rogan, who despises people who disagree with him at this point, Joe Rogan would absolutely love to have Bill Burr on. Wait, what? Lamau, like he's doing clubs? Yes, Bill Burr still does clubs. Of course he does clubs. Every comic does clubs, no matter how big or small. You want to know why? Because that's how you make your material. You have to test out your bits in front of a live audience. You think he just like materializes this stuff? No, of course not. He goes to clubs. Of course he goes to clubs. Bill Burr, anytime, any place around the country, can just walk into any comedy club. Hasan, a comedy pro now? No, for years I have been a comedy fan, like a nerd, okay? A comedy nerd. That was the one thing I used to love doing. I had friends who worked the door at, I would literally go to the belly room to watch. I would go to the belly room to listen to the OG Brian Moses before the Comedy Central purchased it, like the roast. What do you call it? What the fuck is it called? My brain is not working at this point. I'm sorry. I've been on. No, Will worked at comedy clubs too, but that's not even who I'm talking about. So why aren't you funny? Because I know my limitations. Like, I'm just not a funny guy. I love comedy. You don't have to. Roast battle. Thank you. You can be a comedy nerd and not be funny. Personally, I'm just not good. I can't do comedy.
Going, wait a minute, dude. That's a position. That's an op-ed. That's an opinion.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. History is riddled with failed artists who become monstrous villains of society. It is kind of wild how consistent that shit is. It is mind-boggling.
Is that the guy? You know, I don't know. I don't know if the audience is going to eat that dog food. And there's a hell of a difference between I was funny, I was a comedian. What happened to when he went on a rant like that in Philly? Michael Seinfeld.
Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. He lost it on stage and went on a rant. What did Jerry Seinfeld say? Sitting with Letterman 2 days later, they looked at the clip, they bleeped it, and Seinfeld turns to Letterman and said, you can't do that. That's not the act. You can't do that. And I think I'm quoting him exactly when he turned to Letterman and says, you can't do that.
It was such a great way he handled it. Yeah, that's a good point. I remember that. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, sorry to make you apologize, but I think we're on the same.
I'm not apologizing for anything. I think Bill Burr is still that. Listen, him being hilarious. There's bits, Adam, as a comedian. There's bits that will live forever. Bill Burr's specials were brilliant. Something shifted. He changed it. And like, for instance,
Bill Burr's attitude has, as we've shown already, you're a fake fan. You're a fake fan of comedy. Okay, you're a fake fan of comedy. By the way, Adam is another failed comedian. Shut up. That other guy is also a comedian. What is Patrick Bet-David doing? You know how like Mark Zuckerberg got hit with the Dominican rape? Patrick Bet-David hits these guys with like old creepy pastor or used car salesman raise. I just don't understand. How did these guys become these people?
To say free Luigi, do you know how stupid and ignorant that is? The guy was shot. I don't give a fuck. Well, how you feel? He was shot and killed. The guy has a family. He has kids. They're gonna have to.
Yeah, dude, you suck at comedy. Okay, I'm sorry, but that much is clear to me. All right.
Be up fatherless, and for the rest of their lives, their father was. And that footage is out there of him getting murdered. And you're out there trying to be funny, saying "Free Luigi." You're not just a comedian. So when you talk shit in this game, people are gonna talk shit back. It's stupid. So I'm not apologizing for anything that I've said or changing my stance. He's hilarious. Okay. He's hilarious.
So, and I'll be real quick. There's a difference between...
Didn't Vinny call you out for being a Twitch streamer on Piers? Yeah, he did. This guy thinks Twitch streaming is a job. Yeah, not for you, bitch. We saw your Verdansk streams, okay?
Good, great, and the GOATs. So, in my opinion, he's a good comedian. He's had some good bits. He's not great. And he certainly ain't a GOAT, and he's certainly not in the top 10 of all time. Real quick, I'm just jotting down names that come to mind. Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Seinfeld, Cat Williams, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy, Rodney Dangerfield, Louis C.K., Patrice O'Neal, Andrew Schultz these days, Shane Gillis, Tom Segura. These guys.
Bro, I'm sorry. You can't say Andrew Schultz, who I know personally, okay, and even Jerry Seinfeld. Like, who the would agree to that? Well, and not say Bill Burr is not in the GOAT.
Guys, and I'm just riffing.
You think Bill Burr's not better than Tom Segura? Than Tom Segura?
Yes.
I don't know. Louis C.K.
But the fact
and
that
Bill
that's
Burr
even a conversation is my point.
Yeah.
Is that nobody would say Tom Segura is a top 10 comedian, maybe active, but of all time, Bill Burr ain't in that list.
What does that have to do with him saying, like an idiot, that Elon Musk took that opportunity at the inauguration to throw 2 Hitler salutes like he was dog whistling towards Nazis and white supremacists? That has nothing to do with his comedy. That's just pure brainwashed ignorance. Bill Burr is smarter than that, or at least I thought he was. But by his own admission, he doesn't read, okay? And then when people check you, for you to go, Adam, I've never done this. Well, I'm just a comedian. No. I use this mic, and when I speak from the freaking heart. And guess what? Check me. Tear me apart. Talk shit, and we can have that argument. But to be saying the shit he's saying, Adam, something shifted. Somebody was in his ear, and now what? This place is a place, and we should feel sorry for living in America. And by the way, you're talking about an African guy. This guy's not from this country and whatever, and that nails our point. This guy is revolutionizing the game, bro. NASA who? It's Elon Musk. Right?
Oh my God. He's just like angry that Bill Burr's not demonstrating fealty to Elon Musk.
Right now, bro, with Doge and everything like that. Comedy aside, what Bill Burr is doing, bro, is not in his like wheelhouse. He looks ill-informed. He looks stupid. And I just wish, and I hate to be the guy that says stick to comedy. Bro, you were hilarious. You were hilarious. The specials were amazing. He's just getting more angrier and bitter, and I think somebody is in his ear, and I think we all know.
But they give him a pass because he's liberal, because the actors and actresses that step out and give opinions that are conservative get barbecued.
Thank you.
If you drink a lot of coffee,
Chad is being Chad, but that could have been a lot worse. He's just a regular amateur comic. Yeah, I mean, it just like flopped. So he turned around and became this like angry little gremlin on the Patrick Bet David podcast, where he just like repeats right-wing talking points. Is usually that simple for a lot of these guys, because they probably see this as like another way of entertaining people, you know? And if you're desperate to entertain and you can't do it by being funny, you'll do it by saying this